for in a rectangular bale is a bale that's densely packed and uniformly packed in the center and out into the corners. One that is tied tightly by two twines to hold it firmly together. A bale that is square on the edges and across the top so that it stores well, packs well, handles, and feeds easily. Hi, I'm Dick Salisbury with CaseIH, and I'd like to visit a little bit today about what it takes to make a quality bale like this. For our model, we're using a Case International Model 8530 baler. This is one of the centerline design balers. In a centerline design baler, the tractor drives straddle of the windrow. The crop is picked up by the pickup attachment and fed into a pair of cross augers. The cross augers tuck the sides of the windrow in and feed the windrow into the center of the baler. In the center of the baler is a charge chamber where each and every flake of hay is preformed. Each preformed flake is forced in front of the plunger by a stuffer finger assembly. Once in front of the plunger compresses the crop into the bale chamber, forming the square bale that we're looking for. Now let's talk about some of the adjustments that are required to make a quality bale. As we enter the field, the first thing we want to do is lower the pickup so that we can get the crop. This particular model, we have a ratchet to lower the pickup. We'd lower the pickup until the pickup tines are 1 inch off of the ground. That allows us to pick up all of the crop and yet not dig into the ground and damage the crowns of the crop that we're harvesting. Once we have the pickup height adjusted, the next thing we would want to do would be adjust the gauge wheel. The gauge wheel is adjusted, and it should really stay for all the fields that you're going to do. There are a pair of adjusting bolts in the back of this gauge wheel. The rear one is the adjusting slide so that I can adjust my gauge wheel. And I'd want my gauge wheel to be about 1 inch off of the ground when my pickup tines are also 1 inch off of the ground. That would mean that if I encounter some uneven field, the gauge wheels will pick the pickup up so that the tines do not dig into the field. Now let's look on the other side of the machine for another adjustment that we have. There is a gauge wheel over here on the right side of the pickup also. It should be adjusted to the same clearance as you've adjusted the left side gauge wheel. Also on the right side, we have a spring adjustment to control the float weight of the pickup. You should adjust this spring until there is about 75 pounds of force required to pick up the pickup at the gauge wheel. This baler is equipped with the optional hydraulic bale density device. There's a hydraulic pump that is driven off of the drive system of the baler, and by adjusting the relief valve pressure, we can control the density of the bale through this hydraulic system. The hydraulic cylinder is mounted back here on the bale chamber. The pressure in the hydraulic cylinder controls the force on the two bale density rails, top and bottom. On the standard equipment bale density system, there will be a hand crank on either side and a spring controlling the pressure between the two bale density rails. As the crop dries out, you'll have to increase the pressure on the bale density system, be it the standard equipment spring system or the optional hydraulic system. If the bale density pressure becomes too high, you will start to deform the bale by the top and bottom rails, as we have in this example. When that happens, it will become necessary to reduce the pressure on the bale density system and increase the pressure on hay restrictor doors mounted on the sides of the bale chamber in this particular model. The hay restrictor doors are adjusted with these two bolts. First, loosen the jam nuts on both bolts and then adjust the bolt to push the hay restrictor door into the bale chamber. We'll remove the crop from the bale chamber so you can see the effect the hay restrictor doors have on the flow of crop through the bale chamber. The adjustment bolts on the hay restrictor doors push the restrictor doors into the bale chamber like this, restricting the flow of crop through the bale chamber. Hay restrictor doors themselves may not be enough restriction in very springy crops such as straw or very dry hay. In those conditions, you will have to add bale wedges. Bale wedges are always added in pairs. You add one to the left side and another one in the same position on the right side of the bale. Bale wedges are simply that. They're wedge-shaped pieces that create restriction and also help prevent breathe back and the bouncing back of the hay back into the chamber toward the plunger. Bale chamber wedges are bolted to the inside of the bale chamber. Always bolt the first set of wedges to the front set of mounting holes, and the second set of wedges should be added in the rear set of mounting holes. As crop conditions change, it may be necessary to remove one or both sets of bale wedges, as the bales may become too dense if you get into a more moist hay crop that doesn't spring back as bad as straw or a dry hay crop would. Now let's look at another adjustment we have over on the other side of the baler. The next adjustment we'd want to make would be for bale length. The bale length adjustment is made by moving this stop collar up or down. Move it up to increase the bale length and down to decrease the bale length. This particular baler is equipped with a bale thrower. Bales of about 32 inches in length can be thrown with this baler. So adjust the bale length to suit the thrower. If the baler were equipped with a bale chute, you could make bales a good bit longer than that, up to whatever was convenient for you to handle. Twine tension should be adjusted so that it takes about 4 to 6 pounds of effort to pull this sisal twine out of the twine box. If you use plastic twine, you may have to readjust the springs to control the plate tension so that the plastic twine would pull out with about 1 to 1.5 pounds of force. This ensures proper twine tension as the bale forms. Those are the adjustments required on the rectangular baler to make a quality rectangular bale like this.